Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to put the four-wheel steering capabilities on the Red Cat Everest 10. This is my little crawler. I'm going to put some four-wheel steering on this thing so the rear wheels will turn, and then we're going to try that thing out. The parts that you're going to need, this is the side links, part 18084. These actually replace these. Here are the ones on the front. As you can see, there's a little bend in them. These don't have that bend on the rear. If you don't have that bend, the tires are going to rub against that bar whenever you turn after you put the four-wheel steering on there. These are the servo linkages, 18021. These go from this part to the servo. This is a servo plate. It is 18010, and it is this piece of metal that goes underneath the servo. It screws in back here. As you can see, the axle is ready for the plate to be installed. You will need a handful of screws. You're going to need these. These are the flathead screws that go into the servo plate. That way you can screw these onto the axle, and you're going to need some screws so that you can put the servo onto the plate. Start off by taking these rear wheels off. Prop that rear end up. There we go. We're going to replace these side links and do them one at a time. Go to that screw out. The bendy part goes to the rear. This came out of the middle hole, so I'm going to put it back in the middle hole. Alright, do the same thing for the other side. These are actually in backwards. I've got to pop these out and put them in the other way. Alright, let's pop. There we go. Easy. Other side. Oh. There we go. There it is. Pieces are on right now. This plate goes right there and lines up with those holes. Kind of a tight fit. Once you get them started, it'll go on in. There's the plate installed. Now we're going to take these little turnbuckles off. I'm using the same screw that came out of here to put back in there, but I need to cut it off. I'll cut this off later. Alright, I got the servo link on there, and I'm gonna have to cut that off. That is way too long. Time to put the servo on there. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what kind of brand this is. Was it DS Servo? It was super cheap on Amazon, like $4. So I bought it. I'm gonna try it out. It's like 266 ounces of torque. I'm gonna give it a try and see how well it does. All right, the servo is on. Let's get that servo horn on there. I got the servo horn on there, but I'm not screwing it on just yet. I'm just making sure everything lines up, make sure everything clears That way, when we do get ready to put this thing on for real, we don't have anything unexpected to deal with. I'm going to put the tires back on just so that it's easier to handle it and move it around. I have this Spectrum radio and I gotta swap out the receiver because that's the one I want to use. It's the Spectrum DX5C, and it's going to allow me to have independent rear steering. Steering servo came out of the top one. ESC plugs into that one. What is that, channel 2 it looks like? Pull that off. Let's stick this Spectrum one right there. There we go. There's the little antenna. Let's plug the ESC into throttle. So that would be the third slot. Alright, let's put the front servo in the steering. There we go. Let's put the back one into auxiliary 1. Alright, I got everything plugged in. I powered it all on, and my steering works, my throttle works, the rear servo works. I didn't show you the setup. There's lots of setup involved in this. I'm not going to show all that in this video. It requires a video of its own. But I had to set everything up in this controller so all this would work correctly. But it looks like I have everything. Now I can put this servo in the position I need and put the servo horn where I need it. I went ahead and installed a glitch buster. I put it in channel, what is that? Auxiliary 2. Auxiliary 1 is the other servo, and the glitch buster is in auxiliary 2, because I know if I have 2 servos running, it's going to give me issues, and this is going to help solve all those issues I'm going to get. Alright, I'm going to put that screw in. I'm going to screw this on the bottom one, and then I'll be able to put the servo horn on there and line everything up. Alright, to get this on and lined up, let's go ahead and the controller's already on. Go and turn it on. Alright, my trim is already zeroed out, so now you can put this on there and try to get these wheels as straight as you can, and then this particular radio allows you to adjust the trim of the rear separate from the front, and so I can adjust it in there. Try to get it as straight as I can. There we go. Went right on, didn't it? And fortunately this one looks like it's pretty straight as it is, so it shouldn't take much. Go ahead and screw that back in. This particular servo horn has these little screws right here, so we'll tighten those. Alright, there we go. And the steering, the wheel turns just to front, and this little button over here turns just to rear. And that's what I want for the crawler. That way I can turn this and move the rear end and then straighten it back up, and only use the front for steering. The way I set this up is I went down to auxiliary assign. Channel, the channel is auxiliary 1. That's where that rear servo is put into. Input is D. D is this button over here. Then mode is 3 positions. That means it's going to have a left, center, and right. Leave that on inhibit. Leave this on inhibit. If you didn't even do that. There we go. Turn this to active. What this will do is when you let go of the switch, it goes back to center. But I don't want that. I want it to be inhibited. There we go. Because I want it to stay like that. Now, if you don't want to buy a whole new controller and everything for your RC, you can use a Y splitter and you will always get this kind of movement. That's how I have my monster truck set up. So they both turn together like this, and I didn't have to have that nice fancy controller. I just used the Y splitter. You probably can't see it. It's down inside there. But you see I only have two things plugged into it. And one of those is the Y splitter for the servos. Yeah, all this stuff is buried down in there. But I have both the front and rear servos ran off a Y splitter. And you can do that instead, so that way you don't have to go buy a whole new another controller and do all that setup. Alright. Let's look how tight that turns now. Without that rear steering, it takes the whole driveway just about to turn in a circle. And crab walk with it. Once I figure out these button controls. I like that, that's cool. That's gonna make this thing way easier to drive. I was actually able to get out here to the mountain before I uploaded the video, and I got some shots so you can see exactly why I wanted this four-wheel steering on this Everest 10. And there you go. That's four-wheel steering on my little Everest 10. This is a cool little truck, and with that four-wheel steering, this thing is really awesome. I really recommend this mod. And it turns out I didn't like this thing at first. I really like this. The DX5C is actually pretty cool. It does its job. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with this little Everest 10. Hey, I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I hope it helped you out, and I will see you guys next time.